What's up, everybody? My name is Mike, and you're watching The Modern Day Artist. Today, we're here with Pieper Beats. I'm sure a lot of you actually have heard of him, but if you haven't, then allow him to introduce himself.
What's good, guys? My name's Pieper Beats. I appreciate you having me on here, Michael. It's good to chat with you. Good to spread some knowledge and everything. I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, bro. So the way that I found you actually was just through like looking up like specific, it was like Mac Miller type beats, and then your stuff started popping up everywhere, and it's just I love like that how you do it, and then I found your Instagram, and then I looked at like you really play the instruments, you record, you just do a lot of bunch of different things, and
Yeah,
I really fuck with that. So I just kind of wanted to hear a little bit more about how you got started with everything, and yeah, pretty much we can start there.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I got started pretty early on music. I started playing the drums in the third grade. And so that was kind of like my thing for a while. I did the drums like all throughout school, all through high school, middle school. I was in band class. I was in marching band, pep band, all that kind of stuff. And so I didn't really get into production though until I was in the 10th grade.
Uh huh.
I was super big into sports. I was a big soccer guy.
Yeah, I peeped that
I
by the way. I wanted to ask you what your team was. You said that on the other interview. What
Oh
was your
yeah, yeah.
team?
I've always been a big Chelsea guy.
Chelsea. Oh, dude, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. But yeah, yeah, keep going. My bad. I needed to know. I needed to know.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I was big into soccer and I put a lot of my time into that. I was playing like, pretty much all year round, but I ended up getting a bunch of concussions like in
Damn.
middle school. And then those kind of just kept, piling on top of each other. Then it got to a point where I couldn't really play sports anymore. So I was kind of in like a weird space,
Yeah.
I lost, what I would do all the time. So I guess after that, I just had so much free time, and I was kind of just trying to find different things to get into. And then I remember I was on YouTube, and I was just like down like the rabbit hole, just like of these like random videos, and then like these producer videos would pop up. I think like the first one I ever watched was Nick Mira. Do you know him?
Nick Mira. No, I don't. But I mean, it
Or
sounds
he's like
familiar.
a yeah, he's like a big YouTube industry producer. But I remember I saw his videos of him just like cooking up beats in like 2 minutes type shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like I didn't even know that was like a thing. Like I didn't know
Mhm.
people were really making beats like that. And so like literally right after like I watched those videos, I had my mom. I was like begging her to get me a copy of FL Studio,
Yeah, I remember that.
and then she ended up getting me it. And then since then I was just looking up mad YouTube videos every day, just trying to learn different things and all of that. So shout out YouTube.
Nah,
Everything.
YouTube University for real, bro. Like,
Yeah, no,
I feel like you can learn anything.
everything you need is out there, man. But so that's really like how I really got into it, was just YouTube and finding different producers on there and different content, and you know just practicing random things in FL Studio.
Yeah, bro. I mean it sounds about right. You know what I mean with
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
There's a couple things that you kind of talked about, which was like how, or I wanted to bring up, which was like how to like brand yourself and niche yourself so that you can, because you pop up, like
Hmm.
when you type in Piper Beats or anything, you pop up and there's it's just your page. I scroll, it's just your shit,
Yeah, yeah.
which is a conversation of it in and of itself. But then I wanted to kind of backtrack a little bit and talk about like who are your kind of musical inspirations. I know you started like in the fourth grade, like you said, and then you said to that when you were 10 or 2010 or
10th grade is when I
10th grade. So what was that,
yeah
2017 type shit?
yeah, I think it was 2017, 2018, something like that.
So that's when you started getting more into producing like
Yeah,
properly.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So who were those like inspirations, or who were you listening to at the time?
So when I first started making beats, I was making like complete different, style of what I do now. I was doing like Juice World, like Trippy Red,
Yeah, right. Yeah,
like a
for
little
sure.
Peep type stuff, like kind of like dark trap type of stuff, and then kind of just through like finding different genres and trying different stuff out. I kind of refined my style into what it is now. But there's definitely a lot of like kind of trial and error with YouTube. Like at first I was doing those types of beats, and then I kind of transitioned to more like lo-fi type stuff. And then there's kind of a point where I was just trying different like artist keywords. Like I
Hmm.
was doing like just kind of any artist. But what
Like when you were posting
kind
them.
of yeah, when I was posting just different type beats, and then like I would kind of just see what would work and what didn't, what people liked, what would get more views and attention, and then I would just kind of just narrow my narrow what beats I would make into what people like the most. So like there was I remember like kind of early on I started doing Code of the Friend type beats, and
Yeah,
like,
type
at
shit.
that point like no one was really doing that on YouTube. He was still pretty small at that point. So that definitely gave me some exposure. And then the same thing kind of happened when I started doing the Mac Miller type beats. That's when like things like, really started picking up. And that was like I think it was like back in like 2021 is when like my channel really started kind of popping
Hmm.
off. And then yeah, since then I've kind of just kind of stuck with the same type of artist and same like niche. And then just kind of kept trying to push my name out there with that style so people can kind of remember me as the
That.
dude that makes those types of beats.
Yeah, and one thing that you mentioned a while ago was how you like really like to build up a connections with smaller artists and like grow relationships with.
Mhm.
I wanted you to touch a bit more about that and like what your philosophy behind being a producer is for you right now.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely try to develop relationships with really anyone, but definitely smaller artists. And I think it's just almost like it's just nice to build up with people. Like I do a lot of like custom work and stuff, so I'll be doing sessions with artists. I'll be making beats for them and all that. And I really think there's nothing better than just finding a dope underground, not many people know artist, and just making cool shit with them, and you know just uh just keep going with that.
Yeah, bro. And one of the questions I have for you is so here we go. All right, it's how what is like your biggest piece of advice for producers, but you can't say consistency. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
mention that because I feel like that's a given, right?
Yeah, no, that's
So
that's
be
yeah.
so you that's the rule. You can't say that. But what is your biggest piece of advice?
I'd say really just it's hard because you're always like kind of like your own enemy with things, especially when you're putting music out there. Like you get in your head about things like, oh, this beat's not that good, I'm not going to put it out, all that. But like some of my biggest beats are beats that I didn't even really like, and that I didn't
Yeah.
think that would get placed or anything like that. So I'd say really just like try not to be in your head about things, which is kind of hard. It's easier said than done. But just really like doing what you want, making the beats that you want, and just going hard with that.
Word, bro. And what type of how would you say what kind of people do you like to work with?
I mean, really anyone, but definitely just like like-minded people. I'd say like people that I get like a connection with, that I think would be easy to work with. You know what I mean? Like people that I
Mm.
mesh well with.
And then I also wanted to bring up the Beatstar stuff because that I mean that's kind of like where I find like the main interview of you and stuff, and
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to learn a bit more how like you went from like right before that the what kind of conversations you had to have, who you spoke out to, and how someone maybe could do something similar and learn from your experience.
Yeah, definitely shout out Beatstars. I mean, I probably wouldn't be in the same position I'm in right now if it wasn't for them. So definitely shout out to them. But you mean like sorry, what was your question again about
Yeah,
BeatStars?
yeah. So it wasn't so much specifically Beatstars, but it was more um, like you're growing up, you're growing a following, and you're like working with other people,
Mm,
but then you kind of fall into these partnerships, right?
mm.
Like how does someone go about doing that or get into that level? For the people that like want to expand or they're just starting off.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean like for me, a lot of like stuff like that luckily just like came to me with like, YouTube and, things that were going up kind of organically, and then people would just kind of, reach out to me like that, like BeatStars, like they reached out to me because my beats were doing well on their platform. And people were starting to get to know me on YouTube and BeatStars and all that. So it's really obviously having like connections will get you those things, but they can also come to you like when you like least expect it.
Hmm. And then what about like what kind of like other platforms are you using? What other kind of softwares and tools? Maybe even recently, have you been like taking advantage of that maybe someone might not know about if they're just starting off?
Yeah, you mean like plugins and stuff like for like
Yeah,
beats?
it could be plugins. It could be like platforms for, I mean, a distribution stuff. Like, there's all these
Oh
different
yeah,
softwares that to us or to anybody making music is so familiar with.
yeah,
But then
yeah,
there's people that just have no idea. So,
yeah.
do you have any off the top of your head?
There's just I've been using like people will say their own opinions on AI and music and all of that, of
Ah,
course, which there's good and bad things about it, but I use like a few websites where like I'll throw like my guitar loops into it or whatever, and it'll give me like the full MIDI files and stuff for
oh,
it, and which is like a lot more. I think the AI websites are a lot more accurate than like Ableton, because Ableton has like a wave to MIDI converter, but the AI website does it really good. So I'll usually use that, and I'll kind of use the MIDI to build off like melodies and stuff like that for my beats. So that's kind of been like a little strat that I've been going with. Um, and then like I also use it for let's say if there's to get to know like more about like making samples and stuff. Sometimes I'll like find like a really fire sample. I'll throw it into this AI website called Fader. And basically what it does is that it splits everything up into like individual stems.
oh,
So
word.
yeah, yeah, it does it really good. And then I'll kind of just drag those stems into my DAW, and then I'll just like practice like remaking loops, and it'll like help me
Oh, it's
get
like
to
a
know more
practice.
about yeah. So get to know more about like how chords should go and different melodies and like songs that I listen to type of thing.
Oh, that's really cool, dude. I also want to talk about how so music is consumed so differently now these days than it used to be. Like
Yeah.
back then, I mean, obviously, way back then, it was just mainly radio, then vinyl, and then streaming, and then now you have these short form platforms. You know, like
Mhm.
Instagram, Reels, TikTok, all that stuff. Like, what are your thoughts on like how music is consumed these days? Do you have any opinions? Have you ever thought about it? Does that influence how you make music in any way?
It definitely influences it a little bit. It's definitely a lot different. I'm like I talk to a lot of like artists and producers, and they kind of like shy away from going on the new platforms like TikTok and stuff like that and making videos because they think it's like kind of like I don't know, cringy or just like like just something different. And I get that because I feel the same way about that sometimes too. But you really gotta just kind of like adapt to the times. So I think it's definitely different. I don't know exactly how I feel about it, but you kind of can't really do anything other than just adapting to it.
Yeah, that's what you would say. Like, you just kind of have to adapt.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, like obviously, you can still do your own thing and find a way to do it, but yeah, like recently I've been trying to do more like videos on Instagram, more reels and stuff like that, because hoping that I can kind of get my name more out there with Instagram and TikTok and all that.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you actually, I hit you up because in your in on like your YouTube bio and stuff, you're from New York originally. Where'd you grow up, by the way?
I grew up in upstate New York. I was about like an hour away from Albany.
Mm,
So I was in the sticks, like in the middle of nowhere, like small farm town.
hella time to make beats.
Yeah, no, literally, like, and no one in my town made beats. No one made music or anything like that. So it's kind of like a foreign concept, where I was from to
Yeah,
be a musician and to go hard with it. So definitely, it was definitely kind of like a I don't know, weird area. It's kind of why I'm living where I am now.
yeah, you got out.
Yeah.
And how would you say like now that you moved into this new place? I don't know what part of Arizona you're from. I think I'm not sure if you told me, but like now that you're there, you have to network to continue like the branding. How do you go about that? How do you go about networking? Where are you at? Are you hitting people up? Do you have friends there already? You know?
Mhm. Yeah, no, I've definitely been trying to network with more people in the area. I do have sessions here every once in a while. I'm definitely still trying to get my name out there. Recently I've been trying to go to like some like small shows in the city and stuff like that, and kind of try to find some dope artists that I wouldn't, find on my own. So I definitely plan on, keeping up with that and just trying to, network as much as I can.
Yeah, for sure, bro. And then I was talking to someone before about what kind of questions I should ask you, and it was 5 years from now, right? What do you want to do? What direction do you want to take everything?
Yes, that's definitely a good question. I think about it a lot because I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of in like a sort of like a transitional like period in my career. Like I want to do something new, because I've always kind of just been really consistent with YouTube and I've done stuff on there and then stuff on the side. But I think like what I really want to do, or I guess like two things. I really want to get into sync and get my beats and TV shows, movies. I feel like best case scenarios if I could do like video game like
Oh, that'd be sick.
soundtracks and stuff like that. I feel like that would be really dope. Something
What
like,
what video game would be the game that you would just love to hear your shit in?
dude, I'd love to do like some like old school like Mario or like Yoshi type stuff.
Type
Like,
shit.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
like the like moving across the yeah, I get you. The platform shit. That'd be sick,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah. No, I feel like that would just be something cool, like to kind of like switch up, like the everyday process, But other than that, I definitely want to like put some beat tapes out. I kind of want to get my name more out there as like an artist and not just making beats for people. Like I'd love to kind of be like one of those like lo-fi artists. And
Yeah, yeah. So the I wanted to also get into like, of course, people know you for one thing. Then like the same way like people might know me in my town just as a photographer. But I think
mhm.
overall like that's just like you don't want to categorize yourself. Like you want to expand and be like you're
Yeah,
an individual person that can do so much. So what are the other things that you got going on, or that you like to do that people may not know? And how does it all tie in together?
yeah, yeah.
What else
I
you
mean,
got going on?
I definitely say I'm like a pretty like creative, person. Like outside of music too. Like I love to paint and make art. I just like recently started like taking pottery classes for
Oh,
fun.
word.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like doing like I like taking
Oh,
up like random like hobbies that are kind of like different and like fun to do. Um, yeah, I got a bunch of like weird hobbies. I'm like a big like espresso nerd, so like
really?
I love making coffee.
That's fire
Um,
though. I fucking love. I'm Colombian, so like
oh yeah,
I'll be loving that shit.
yeah. But I'm like a big plant guy. I love plants. I like cooking. So I'm kind of I'm doing a lot of different stuff.
Word, bro. And how I would say when it comes to like balancing the lifestyle, like you got relationships, you got family, friends, career.
Mm.
Kind of how would you say up to this point at 23 years old have you kind of at least found a general way of going about general philosophy about living and going through life as an artist?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely struggled in the past and with like balancing everything with work and family, friends, and all that. And I still struggle with it sometimes, but it definitely helps to kind of just have a schedule, but even some days, like shit comes up and my schedule is, all over the place. But I definitely tried to kind of designate like a certain like time of the day to get work done. Usually it'll be like really early in the morning. I'll wake up early, get all my work done, and then later in the day is when I can kind of make time for friends and family and all that.
Nice, bro. And then is there what would you say like your message is or like something that you wanna like when people hear Piper Beats, you there's like a little slogan or something that you're pushing out like your message pretty much. What would that
Yeah.
be? If you ever thought about it?
I don't know if I thought about that. Um, Probably just something that like that has to do with like the vibes of my music. Cause I feel like a lot of my beats, kind of keep like that chill vibe, like that relaxing vibe.
Some down to
So
earth type
yeah, yeah,
shit.
yeah. So I'm not sure like what kind of slogan it would be, but just something that has to do with
Where
staying chill, type of thing.
big nature guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
for
be
sure.
vibing out. That's fire, dude. And then I kind of have to ask you saw what's going on with Drake, obviously Drake and Kanye. Or sorry, not Drake and Kanye, Drake and Kendrick. Do you have
Yeah.
any opinions on that? I mean, fucking obviously Kendrick just ended him with that fucking diss concert and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that shit's all over the place.
Bro, yeah.
Like every day, like something new comes out, and then you like think something different.
You think
But
it's
yeah,
over, and then Bro,
Yeah, yeah,
Kendrick, bro,
yeah.
crazy shit. But what?
Yeah,
Yeah, what are you thinking?
I feel like it'll like never end. I don't know. But like I'm definitely team Kendrick, you know. I'm riding Kendrick, of
Yeah,
course.
I was about to say like I asked this question to a bunch of other people. It's like if you let's say you're an artist, right? And you can only pick one, but they both offer you to work. Who are you picking to work with?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'd definitely go with Kendrick. Yeah. I feel like I'd like I don't know, I just feel like we'd make some dope shit. Not
Word.
nothing against, you know, Drake of course, but you know, I just feel
Yeah.
like the vibes would be fire with Kendrick.
Word. And would you say that there is an artist out there that you just really want to work with?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to work with Dominic Fike. I mean, he's
Oh
definitely
yeah,
my
bro.
favorite artist right now. You know, I'd love to do something with him.
Hell yeah, bro. And would you say is there anything else you'd like to kind of say or go over before we? I think this, I've got some good stuff here, man. So
Yeah. You know, I mean, I'd just say, you know, just stay true to yourself, you know, do what's best for you, what you feel, you know, inside, you know, you have that feeling and you know, you just got to ride with it. You know, you can't you know, a lot of people that I talk to, especially artists, you know, they get so just caught up in their head and you know, they overthink things just like so much to the point where like, you know, if you just didn't do that, you'd be you know, a lot farther on, you know, if that makes sense. So I would just say, you know, just to do what's best for you and, you know, just to follow like that, like, you know, gut feeling.
hell yeah, bro. And if anyone wanted to get into contact you or find you on social medias, where can they go?
You can go on Instagram, YouTube, pretty much any platform. I'm under it as Piper Beats. So just
Yeah,
you know,
it
you'll
pops
find me.
up. It
Yeah,
pops up back quick. All right, bro. Thank you so much for giving me a bit of your time. I did hit
yeah,
you
of
up out of
course.
blue, so I do appreciate it, man. And
Yeah,
yeah,
of
thanks for watching, everybody. See you guys next time.
course. Thanks for having me.
Word. That was fire, bro. I'm
Hell yeah, man. That was fun.